Hi guys, it's just Matt Luxton here from Last Fitness Camps. Today I am here with Joe. Joe's been working with me for the last 3 weeks and has had some really great results. I just want really to share with you Joe's story and perhaps before we get going and talking about how our results were and how good she feels as a result of what we've been doing and tell you more stuff about that. Perhaps if we can just start with talking about perhaps why Joe applied and that kind of stuff, so you can get a little feel for where she was when she started. Because I know it's quite nerve-wracking when you first apply for something like this.
Yeah.
So, perhaps Joe, if you just wouldn't mind perhaps first of all just say to us, let us know why you applied, why would you apply to Scotland?
Okay, well, I'd seen your leaflet about doing this 21-day trial, and I'd heard loads of great things about other people that had already seen you and had some really great results. So I knew that you had a great reputation, and I thought I'd give it a go. At the time, I was off work with stress, and so I thought, well, this could be a positive step forward, something that I can do for myself that will have a positive impact. And it's something I've been thinking of doing anyway, getting hold of my fitness and my healthy eating. But that would be something that I could do for myself to improve my situation.
So that was sort of your reason for applying. What, in your opinion then, was holding you back before? So obviously you just mentioned that you were sort of really stressed before you started, but even before that, what things were you doing and why wasn't it working basically?
I've tried various different diets before and done my gym memberships and various things like that, but it had always been focusing on one or the other and not all of it as a whole. Which is obviously where you really want to be looking at it all, because you're not going to get the best results if you just look at one of them.
So you know this stuff.
What
were your energy levels like before you started?
They were pretty poor. I was drinking lots of coffee, lots of cups of coffee during the day, and then if I didn't drink coffee, I'd drink a cup of tea in the evening. Never drank any water. So they were fairly low.
Fairly low. So what would you say in terms of what you've done before? What was it that really made the difference this time round for you? We'll get to the results in a minute, but what was it that made the difference this time?
I would say just the fact, like I say, that you're looking at it as a whole and the support that you've got there. You had all the recipes, loads of recipes to choose from, and suitable for vegetarians and meat eaters, and you could really have a good mixture throughout the week, and they were all really tasty. They were nice flavours, nice herbs and spices used, and so there wasn't any meal where you just kind of thought, oh yeah, it was alright, but I'm not over keen on it. Each meal you'd be like, oh yeah, I'll eat that again next week. It's nice and tasty, and we could use it for myself and my partner, not just me, and it was easy to fit in.
I think that's really important as well, because I always get a lot of questions saying what's my partner going to eat? Well, to be fair, there's no reason why they can't eat the same.
No, exactly.
And I think your partner's probably feeling pretty good too.
We've been feeling great, and you don't get any bloatedness from any of the meals or any stomach pains. I was experiencing stomach cramps before after eating some foods, and I haven't had any of that in the last 3 weeks.
So naturally, then obviously, you obviously seen what I've been up to before, but were you scared? Were you apprehensive? Were you nervous about the first session?
A little bit anxious about starting, just because you're going into a new group, you don't know how it's set up until you get in there. But as somebody in the group had said to me, you just go in there and then you get in your own little zone and you do your own thing. Although we're all doing the same exercises, you do it at your own pace. So you're not pushing yourself against somebody else, you're just doing your own pace, which is great.
And also I think with that as well, whilst the person next to you is working, you're working, and if they haven't stopped, then there's that little bit of that you kind of think, well, I'm not going to stop either.
Definitely. Do keep an eye on the other people, and
so you get yourself
that you want to just push yourself a little bit harder.
Just keep moving. So obviously, first session came around, you did your session, you ate probably.
Yes. A lot.
Okay, and then the second session came, and how did you feel after that one?
I was still aching on that one, but it's still good because you ache when you're going into it, and then you're actually doing it for the 40 minutes, and you forget about those aches and pains, and it's okay. And then obviously you ache a bit afterwards, but after the first week's done, by the following Monday, you're feeling great. And
having done one or the other before, as you said, how did you find the sort of style of exercise? How did you benefit from that? Like I think I've heard you say about like things being a little bit easier.
Yeah.
Like I think you mentioned like even simple daily tasks.
Yeah, things like walking up the stairs. I'm not saying that I was awful at walking up the stairs, but like you walk up the stairs and you just kind of cruise up the stairs now. You almost bounce up them because your muscles are actually doing what they're meant to be doing rather than being lazy and not used to that activity. Yeah,
that's cool. So what did you expect? So like obviously we've gone through perhaps where you were like before and what you've done before, and now like really like I'd like to just try and see what it was that you expected from the programme, or did you have any sort of preconceptions about how many inches you might lose, how you might feel, or were you kind of really entering the unknown?
I wasn't really sure how much I would lose. I hadn't put a figure on anything, but I knew that I would get good results because, like I said, I'd heard of your reputation before and knew that what you were doing was working, and seen other people that have done it and lost lots of weight and are looking great, and so I knew that it was
So you knew it worked,
so I knew that I had to just stick to it and get through that first week. Obviously it's tough because you're doing your exercises, you're getting up early, you're changing your diet, but it's all worthwhile. And now, 3 weeks later, it's just become habit to do those things and have your greens in the morning for breakfast, and it's just all become habit now.
Yeah, that's good. So it's easy to get into something as it is to get out. So
yeah, definitely.
Right, let's talk about results then. So, like everyone always gets really hung up on like how many pounds they lose. Like as you probably realise now, I'm not. I think weight loss is great. It can be a really good motivational tool, but long term that's not really sustainable. I think I quite like looking at how happy somebody feels. How they look in their clothes, how they feel in their clothes, because those kind of things have a knock-on effect on the whole person long term. Weight loss can be a bit of a grey area really when it comes to it. Can be very unmotivational as well, because 1 week you might only lose a pound, but the next week you might lose 4, and then you might lose 2, and then you might lose 6. So it can fluctuate, especially with ladies and the cycles that you go through on a monthly basis. It can be very different. So inches, how do we do?
7.5 inches.
7.5 inches. Yeah. How many inches? How do we go on the waist? Can you remember?
I can't. I think it was 3 of my waist.
Yeah. So, but we lost plenty of inches around the waist, and obviously your before and after photos, you can see the difference.
Massively,
so also like the inches off of other areas as well. Well, whilst at first glance on the numbers might not seem like you lost a lot of inches, but you can see the shape changes.
Definitely.
Particularly when you put pictures next to each other.
Really worthwhile taking those photos and looking back at them. And even taking those first photos, that's the inspiration. You need to do it because you think, oh gosh. There's not many times that you look at yourself from the back shot and then you think, oh, you need to do some work there.
Yeah, you don't really see yourself from the back, do you? Were there any other kind of unexpected kind of benefits? So, whilst you actually just said that you didn't really necessarily expect anything in particular, was there anything that you've had said to you, or perhaps you've noticed that you perhaps didn't initially think about?
I've had lots of comments from friends and family, even people that didn't know that I was doing something. They've commented, but also just a change in myself. And like I say, after the 3 weeks, things become really routine for you to drink more water and to have your vegetables. And I'm instantly now throwing extra veg and greens into all my meals, and I'm surprised at how naturally that's coming now. Just after 3 weeks of doing it and thinking about it so much, and you do put a lot of thought into it. Initially you've got to get into it, but then you get going with it, and it's like I say, it just becomes natural then.
That's the thing, isn't it? Because a lot of people always say to me, "Oh, I don't know how you do this all the time." But once you've done it for the first few weeks, it then just becomes a habit of.
You don't need to look at the recipe.
Exactly. You don't need to do that. So once you've done it for the first few meals, you kind of remember what goes in there. To be honest with you, now the recipes are there to help you in terms of quantity, so you can get an idea of how much. But now I just tend to chuck stuff in. I might have double the amount of garlic I had the week before. So long as I know that the principles are right around what's in the food and where it's come from, and then calories matter so much less when you're addressing what's actually going in the food. I talk a lot about that, but But yeah, so I think having something like that, like the nutrition, the recipes to start with, help.
Yeah, definitely.
Help with change.
They just point you in the right direction, and then afterwards, I think some of the others, you can alter them a bit and chuck different veggies in, and you can change it a bit afterwards. But yeah, definitely, there's a lot of support there in those recipes. That you're not just thinking, oh God, what can I have? It's there.
It's pretty much there, and it's there. It's just you just need to follow it, kind of thing. Anything else you really want to add, Joe? I mean, you've sort of talked through perhaps like how you felt before, and you've also sort of given us a little bit of an indication of like how obviously your start wasn't as easy as perhaps some other people's start. And you've also given us a little bit of an insight into how you felt before, what you tried, and now obviously the results you've had. Is there anything else that you sort of think that might be beneficial for somebody watching this who's perhaps a little bit concerned about starting training or starting, a change in lifestyle? I
would say if you're concerned about it, get in touch with you and talk it through. But just go for it, because there's no chance that it's not going to work for you. If you do everything that you're told to do, it's going to get you great results, and you're going to end up feeling better for it. So just go for it.
Follow the plan and away you go. Cool. Right, thanks very much, Joe, for coming in.